A fragile truce. The proposed ceasefire. The world watches with bated breath. A 30-day ceasefire hangs in the balance between Russia and Ukraine. Brokered after weeks of intense diplomacy, this fragile truce represents a glimmer of hope in a devastating conflict. The terms are clear: a complete cessation of hostilities, allowing for humanitarian aid to reach desperate civilians. The question remains, will it hold? The ceasefire, agreed upon by Ukraine, has garnered cautious support from the international community. All eyes are now on Russia. Will they seize this opportunity for peace, or exploit it for strategic advantage? The answer will have profound consequences, not only for Ukraine, but for the entire world order. This ceasefire is not a guarantee of peace. It is a chance, a small window of opportunity to silence the guns and allow for dialogue. The path ahead is fraught with challenges, but even the faintest hope for peace is worth pursuing with unwavering determination. The world is watching, hoping that this fragile truce marks the beginning of the end of this devastating war. Ukraine's aim: exposing Russia and seeking justice. This mission is not just about military victories or territorial gains, it is about revealing the truth and holding those responsible accountable. The Ukrainian people have endured immense suffering, and their resilience is a testament to their unwavering spirit. Ukraine's agreement to the ceasefire is not a sign of weakness but a strategic move. It is a calculated decision to show the world their commitment to peace and diplomacy. By agreeing to a cessation of hostilities, Ukraine demonstrates its willingness to resolve the conflict through dialogue and negotiation, rather than through endless bloodshed. They aim to expose Russia's true intentions to the world. The Ukrainian leadership is determined to shine a light on the actions and motives of the Russian government, making it clear who the real aggressor is. Through international media and diplomatic channels, they seek to rally global support and solidarity. By agreeing to a cessation of hostilities, Ukraine puts the onus on Russia to reciprocate. This move places the responsibility squarely on Russia to honor the ceasefire and engage in meaningful negotiations. If Russia fails to do so, it will be evident to the international community who is truly at fault. If Russia violates the ceasefire, it will be clear to the international community who is the aggressor. Such violations will not go unnoticed, and Ukraine is prepared to document and present evidence of any breaches. This transparency is crucial in garnering international condemnation and support for their cause. Ukraine seeks more than just a pause in the fighting. They demand justice. This means holding those responsible for atrocities accountable and ensuring that such crimes do not go unpunished. The Ukrainian people are united in their call for justice, and they will not rest until it is achieved. This means the full restoration of their territorial integrity, including Crimea. The annexation of Crimea by Russia is a wound that remains open, and Ukraine is steadfast in its demand for the return of this region. The international community's support is vital in this endeavor as it reinforces the principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity. It means bringing to account those responsible for war crimes. The atrocities committed during this conflict cannot be ignored, and Ukraine is committed to seeking justice for the victims. War crimes tribunals and international courts play a crucial role in this process, ensuring that perpetrators are held accountable. And it means the return of their people, the thousands of Ukrainian children forcibly deported to Russia, and the prisoners of war languishing in captivity. Ukraine's resolve is unwavering. The return of these individuals is not just a political issue, it is a deeply personal and emotional one for the families affected. They will not be cowed by aggression or intimidated into accepting a peace that compromises their sovereignty. The Ukrainian people are determined to defend their nation and their rights, no matter the cost. Their courage and determination serve as an inspiration to the world. Their message is clear. They are fighting for their survival, for their right to exist as a free and independent nation. This struggle is about more than just land. It is about the very identity and future of Ukraine. The spirit of independence and freedom runs deep in the hearts of the Ukrainian people, and they will continue to fight with or without a ceasefire until justice is served. The path ahead may be long and arduous, but Ukraine's commitment to justice and sovereignty remains unshaken. They will persevere, driven by the hope of a brighter, more just future for their nation. A transatlantic tightrope. The U.S. and Ukraine. The relationship between these two nations has been a focal point of international politics, especially in recent years. The U.S., a global superpower, and Ukraine, a nation striving for sovereignty and stability, have found their fates intertwined in a complex geopolitical dance. The U.S. has pledged unwavering support for Ukraine, providing military aid and humanitarian assistance. This aid has been crucial in bolstering Ukraine's defenses against external threats and in supporting its citizens during times of crisis. From advanced weaponry to essential supplies, the U.S. has been a key ally in Ukraine's struggle for independence and peace. But the relationship has been tested in recent times. Diplomatic tensions and political controversies have occasionally strained the alliance, making it a subject of intense scrutiny and debate on the global stage. The shadow of the Trump era, marked by a controversial phone call and the temporary withholding of aid, still lingers. This period highlighted the fragility of international alliances and the impact of domestic politics on foreign policy. The repercussions of these events are still felt today, influencing current diplomatic strategies and decisions. Ukraine is now navigating a complex diplomatic dance, seeking to repair and strengthen its ties with the U.S. This involves not only addressing past grievances but also building a future-oriented partnership that can withstand the pressures of global politics. The Biden administration has reaffirmed its commitment to Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. President Biden's clear stance on supporting Ukraine has been a cornerstone of his foreign policy, emphasizing the importance of democratic values and international cooperation. However, navigating the domestic political landscape, particularly in the wake of Trump's re-emergence on the world stage, requires careful diplomacy. The U.S. must balance internal political dynamics with its international commitments, ensuring that support for Ukraine remains steadfast despite potential political shifts. Ukraine needs the U.S. as a steadfast ally, both materially and symbolically, to counter Russian aggression and secure a just peace. The presence of U.S. volunteers and military trainers in Ukraine underscores the deepening ties and the shared commitment to a stable and secure Europe. The U.S. faces a delicate balancing act. It must provide robust support for Ukraine while managing the risks of escalating tensions with Russia. This requires a nuanced approach, combining military aid with diplomatic efforts to de-escalate potential conflicts. Providing robust support for Ukraine while avoiding escalation with a nuclear-armed Russia is a high-stakes game. The U.S. military presence in Europe serves as a deterrent, but it also highlights the precarious nature of the situation. Every move is calculated to maintain a balance between showing strength and avoiding provocation. The outcome of this conflict will have far-reaching implications for the future of U.S.-Russia relations and the global order. The stakes are high, and the decisions made today will shape the geopolitical landscape for years to come. The U.S. must tread carefully but with unwavering resolve to support Ukraine and deter further Russian aggression. This delicate balance of power and diplomacy will determine not only the future of Ukraine but also the stability of the international community. Section 4. The Trump Card Dealmaker or Disruptor. Donald Trump's recent pronouncements on the Russia-Ukraine war have injected a new element of uncertainty into an already volatile situation. The former president, who infamously pressured Zelensky to investigate his political rivals, has praised Putin's actions as genius and suggested he could broker a peace deal. Trump's motives are unclear, but his rhetoric raises concerns about his potential to undermine international efforts to support Ukraine and hold Russia accountable. His statements have been met with condemnation from many quarters, but they have also resonated with a segment of the American public. Trump's shadow looms large over the current crisis. His past actions and his ongoing pronouncements have the potential to complicate diplomatic efforts and embolden Putin. The international community must remain united in its condemnation of Russian aggression and its support for Ukraine, regardless of Trump's attempts to sow discord and undermine the rules-based international order. Section 5. Stalling for strength. Russia's calculated gamble. Russia's response to the proposed ceasefire has been cautious, fueling speculation about their true intentions. Some analysts believe that Russia is using the ceasefire as a smokescreen, a way to buy time to regroup and rearm their battered forces. Others suggest that Russia may be genuinely interested in finding a negotiated settlement, but only on their terms. Russia has much to gain from prolonging the negotiations. A ceasefire would give them a much-needed respite from international sanctions, allowing their economy to recover. It would also give them time to solidify their control over the territories they have occupied, potentially creating a de facto partition of Ukraine. Russia's endgame remains unclear. Do they seek a complete takeover of Ukraine, or are they willing to accept a negotiated settlement that leaves them in control of parts of the country? Understanding Russia's motivations is crucial for the international community to devise an effective strategy to counter their aggression and deter further expansionism. Section 6. Beyond the ceasefire, Ukraine's vision for lasting peace. Ukraine's long-term goals extend far beyond a mere cessation of hostilities. They are not just looking for a temporary halt in the fighting, but a comprehensive and enduring peace that addresses the root causes of the conflict. They envision a future where their sovereignty and territorial integrity are guaranteed, where their borders are respected, and their right to self-determination is upheld. This vision includes a Ukraine that is free from the threat of Russian aggression, where its citizens can live without fear of invasion or occupation. This means more than just a return to the pre-2014 borders. It means reclaiming all territories that have been occupied and ensuring that such violations of international law do not happen again. It means establishing a security architecture that prevents future conflicts involving not just military measures but also diplomatic and economic strategies. Ukraine understands that achieving a lasting peace will require compromise and dialogue. They are prepared to engage in negotiations and make concessions where necessary. But they are adamant that they will not be bullied into accepting a deal that undermines their sovereignty or leaves them vulnerable to future aggression. They seek a fair and just resolution that respects their rights and interests. They are seeking security guarantees from the international community, assurances that their sovereignty will be protected, and that any future Russian aggression will be met with swift and decisive consequences. This includes not only military support but also political and economic backing to help Ukraine build a resilient and prosperous society. Ukraine's vision for peace is not just about territory, it is about building a democratic and prosperous future for their people. They aim to create a society where human rights are respected and everyone has the opportunity to thrive. This involves economic development, social cohesion, and the strengthening of democratic institutions. They believe that true security comes not just from military strength but from strong institutions, a vibrant civil society, and a robust economy. They understand that achieving this vision will require sustained effort and international support. They are committed to working with their allies and partners to build a better future for all Ukrainians. Achieving this vision will require sustained international support and a commitment to upholding the principles of international law and the rules-based order. They call on the global community to stand with them in their quest for peace and justice. Ukraine's vision for lasting peace is a comprehensive and ambitious plan that seeks to address the root causes of the conflict and build a better future for all its citizens. It is a vision that requires the support and commitment of the entire international community.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.